Welcome to a new segment.
Oh.
This is called the Junk House Anti-Draft. This is
Anti-draft.
Anti-draft, and it's going to be short because each of us only gets to pick one thing. So it's cold open. We're going to pick one Halloween candy. And it has to be like, think about it in the fun size, okay? The big size can still exist, but the fun size is gone forever. We are getting rid of it. We are anti-drafting it.
We are erasing something from existence when we draft it.
Yes. This thing you are erasing from existence. I mean, I can say mine, and this may help y'all out in where I'm thinking.
Go ahead.
Openly loathe the candy Bitter Honey.
What?
Yes. So this was a candy. I'll send a picture of it. This was a candy that, for some reason, always just appeared in, like, if I went to a trick or treat thing, like a trunk or treat or like a church fall fun fest, And I despise this candy. Just hate it. And there's a picture of it sending out. But it's essentially just like if you made honey gross and then just chopped it up into approximately Tootsie Roll sized bits and then wrapped it and called it a bit of honey, and it sucks. It sucks.
I've never had that.
It sucks. You don't want to have it.
See, I love all candy.
No, you don't.
That's
licorice.
impossible.
There it is. Yeah.
I
was like, I don't believe you. So
it's only black licorice. I haven't had black licorice in forever. I think I might actually like it, but off the top of my head, I'm just going to say black licorice.
Fair.
So we're eliminating the mini.
Yeah, it can just, like, the big size can still exist. Like, if you have a passionate hatred for, like, fun size Snickers or the mini size Snicker, like, valid. You can erase that from existence.
You know what? I'm going to change mine, and I'm going to go crazy.
Okay.
And do a controversial take. Mini Kit Kat. If I'm getting a Kit Kat, I want a whole Kit Kat. I don't want a little baby. I'm taking a break. I don't want a 15-minute. I want a 30-minute break.
And I suppose the whole point of the Kit Kat is to break it more. So having one with only one break in it is it's
disappointing.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but you're right. That is a little bit of a controversial take.
Spicy take up in here.
I feel
Reese's.
Like what?
Reese's.
Yeah.
Okay, but what shape?
All of them. Just knock out mini Reese's. Because let me tell you why.
Okay.
Cordy's fine with chocolate. Cordy actually is really good with chocolate. Cordy's fine with peanut butter. You mix them together, I'm not a fan. And
interesting.
People buy Reese's a lot for like trick-or-treating and whatnot to give out because they know people like it. But I don't. So if I'm doing a like deletion for my own benefit, I'm going to erase the candy that I see the most of that I don't like. Now, it's good trade fodder, but I'd rather not have to trade at all. I'd rather be getting more of those mini Hershey bars and Hershey Kisses.
This is wild, and welcome to Junk House.
It's a psychobilly freakout!
Welcome back, folks. Also, remember, you can't buy any of those that we named.
Not that anyone would actually buy Bitter Honeys.
They don't exist.
If somebody chose to buy Bitter Honeys, they vote for Donald Trump. Like, that's the only way that works, you know? It's like you have to be that kind of a person. It's so bad.
I agree.
It's like that Mary Jane's Necco wafers. Like, I hate those so much.
Necco wafers?
Necco wafers.
Wait, I was thinking of something else. Necco wafers are fine, but yeah, they're not. Yeah.
It's like, I mean, like, yeah, just eat chalk. Have a Tums, and you basically have what a Necco wafer tastes like.
I love Tums. Get them out of your mouth.
Yeah, no, but here's the thing. Tums at least help settle my stomach. Necco wafer tastes like Tums without any upside. This is Junk House.
We already said that.
It's still a Junk House.
Could we do a bit this episode, Samantha? I want to propose this.
Okay.
Every time we say this is Junk House, toss in just a little bit of the theme song. Just take Caleb repeating it once and let's just loop it in as a continuing bit throughout the episode. So if I were to say like this is Junk House right then, a little bit of the theme. And if it's funny enough, we do it forever. Where anytime any of us say the words Junk House, it's back.
Yeah.
But
then that means I have to actually sit through and edit the whole thing instead of doing.
Well, I mean, we'll see how funny it is.
We'll work it into a soundboard that'll hit the recording somehow. I don't know.
Yeah, there you go. Like,
there we go.
Okay, yeah, I like that.
I mean, it's not an incorrect statement. Like, it still is the show. Like, it really is. You know,
it's the show.
It's still the show. And so sometimes when I don't know what to say and don't have a bit to segue to, I just say it. And
say what?
It's still true. I say this is Junk House, and it's still true. That's the thing about it.
I mean, that's true because it is Junk House. But I also feel like we could have better segues than simply saying this is Junk House.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. Because there are better segues. Because Cordell, I actually do have a bit prepared for this week, and not to add more to Sammy's editing plate, but I think it's time I use my almost degree. Welcome to Caleb uses what he almost got a degree for. I almost got a degree in theater. Cordell does have a degree in theater, whatever. And we're proud of him for that. But
I can't wait to get to the turbo version of this bit where it's Caleb uses the thing he absolutely never got a degree for, and it's like counseling things after I've got my master's.
Calculus.
And I'm not allowed to say a word during the whole segment. I just have to listen to you just say things.
Yes. So that is exactly what's going to happen. We're going to therapize guests, except Cordell is not going to be able to talk the whole time. And I'm just going to buy a copy of the DSM-5 and start reading random entries from it and seeing if it sticks. Since that's what therapists online tend to do.
I've read the whole book.
This is just a great... This is a great segment, and I love it. And I had a thought of another fun thing we can do. I'm not going to say who my character is yet, but I just need the two of you to come up with some fun characters that are walking through a park together. And it's like a big park with like a stream that runs through it. And like y'all are kind of walking the path, and it goes like, oh, there's a bridge over the stream, and it goes through a little flower bed and stuff like that. That is the only thing that I need y'all to do. Okay.
Samantha, I have a pitch for our characters.
Okay.
We have been together for 8 years. We've been dating for 8 years. We're both madly in love. We both want to spend the rest of our lives together. But the problem is we're both stubborn. And we made a joke bet when we first started dating that neither of us would be the first to propose. So we're walking through a perfect proposal setting like a park, and we're both pissed off. Because we're both really dropping hints that the other one could if they wanted to, but we both know the stubbornness will continue.
Okay, I love it.
This is a really good idea. We'll say it's a fall day.
Okay.
Like fall evening. Okay. So maybe the sun
golden
is starting to set. Golden hour. Yeah. Make it even more of the perfect time. There's also, for some reason, so many photographers taking pictures of the park.
Oh.
And y'all are just walking and you're about to cross over the ridge. It's also 69 degrees outside. Nice. And so yeah, whenever y'all are ready, take it away and I'll jump in.
Oh, Trundor, look at the water. It's so beautiful at this hour.
Yes, my darling Trunda. It is me, Trundor, and I love the beautiful water at this hour. I love all these photographers just out taking pictures. That's interesting. Were you aware of this?
Looking at us.
Oh.
Your shoe's untied too.
No. See, Trunda, I'm wearing Velcro shoelaces, but yours is untied.
You always do. I know
yours is untied. I know you could kneel down and you could tie that and maybe have another thing.
Joke's on you. I'm not wearing any shoes at all today. I never wear shoes. You
Trunda,
dumbass.
I forgot you were such a hippie.
Yeah.
I love you, but
You have come across my bridge at last, and this bridge just may be your last.
Whoa.
Trunda, it's some kind of freak.
It's some kind of goblin Trundor.
It is me. I am the troll that lives beneath the bridge, and I don't have a rhyme for the word bridge.
Smidge.
I am the troll that lives beneath the bridge, and across this bridge you must do me a smidge of a favor.
It could be any. You could say you'd be dead in a smidge.
Okay, if you try to cross this bridge, you'll be dead in a smidge.
Thank you.
Okay, God.
It's not that hard. If you're gonna make rhyming your thing, like plan ahead.
It's not really my thing. My thing is more riddles.
Oh, how original.
Yes, I am a troll who loves riddles.
Like an internet troll?
No, not those. Those give me a bad name. And I already have a bad name. Bramston. Bramston the Bridge Troll.
Well, wait till you hear his name.
What's your name?
Nice to meet you, Bramston the Bridge Troll. I'm Trundor Gleefulhop.
Dear God. I heard the two of you arguing about who is going to propose first. I hope you take her last name.
Well, Trunda, tell him your last name.
It would take me a week to tell you my full last name.
Oh, good God. This is horrible.
There is not one but two ciphers involved with pronouncing her last name.
Mm-hmm.
That's
it's
miserable.
Unknowable, some say.
Now, anyway, back to the thing. If you would like to cross my bridge, you must answer these riddles 3.
Is that both of us answering 3 riddles independently, or is that one set of 3 for the two of us?
No, it's one set of riddles. It's 3 riddles, and you can work together on them.
Okay.
Fist bump, Trunda.
Let's get it.
Here comes
and then you'll ask me to marry you.
What? Huh?
It depends
right now?
on the riddle.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would
always
ask
said
you
if
to
we
marry
saw
me.
a troll that you would have to.
You've never said that a day in your life, Trunda. Bramston, continue.
Here is my first riddle. What has 4 legs in the morning, 2 legs midday, and 3?
It's man.
Oh, okay. That was. You guys knew that one, huh?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that was okay. Let me try again with the riddle 2. What is the answer to my riddle? It is the riddle is what gets wet as you dry?
A towel.
God damn it! Okay. Third one. third one. This is my hardest riddle to date. This is the one that has given me so many souls to feast upon. It is the third riddle of my riddles 3. It is, what has 2 legs midday and 3 legs in the evening, but also has 2 legs in the morning? It's just in the evening. Sometimes he has 3 legs in the morning.
Is it you?
God damn it!
Yes!
No one suspects me to be referencing my meaty giant penis when I am talking about the 3 legs.
Trundor, it's the golden hour. No, I'm Trundor. Bramston, it's the golden hour, and your penis is literally touching the ground. We can both see it. You're fully
It can
naked.
actually make it work. Like, okay, so fine, you get to cross my bridge, but just you wait. There is another bridge in this park, and I will not say if there is also a troll beneath that bridge too.
You know what, Trundor?
Yeah, Trunda.
Come here. I don't care about our bets. In this perfect lighting, with a troll dick swinging low to the ground next to us.
It's
Will
the
you marry
perfect
me?
location. Trunda. You lost the bet, idiot! Yes, I will.
Well, no, I already knew that. That's okay. Oh, I love you
I
so
just need to
much.
gloat. I love you.
Are you done?
I mean, are you like kind of meta-narratively here, Bramston? Are you wanting us to continue to that next bridge?
There is another bridge.
But is part of this whole situation us going to that bridge?
If you would like to.
Okay, we'll go to the other bridge.
Okay, fine. Yeah, we'll play along. Bye, Bramston.
Perfect. Thank you. Goodbye.
Oh, hey, another bridge.
What's up, fuckos? It's me.
What's your name?
My name is Brunston. Brunston the Bridge Troll.
Hi, Brunston.
If you would like to, hold on, I got it. If you would like to cross my bridge, then you must answer my riddles.
Well, hit us with them.
Okay.
So, what has 2 legs in the morning?
Man.
Fuck.
And then the second one is a towel, and then the
It's
third
towel.
is you.
32.
No, that's not the third one. The third one is
Okay.
not me.
Okay, ask the third one then, because we got the second
Branston.
one.
What
It's
has
Branston.
2 legs
It's
midday?
Branston.
Shit.
It's Branston. This has been a perfect day.
I love you, Trunda.
I love you, Trundor.
This is. I'm gonna go under the bridge now.
What do you
My
do
name is
down
John
there?
Quiones. This has been What Would You Do?
Yo!
The perfect way to end every segment.
Yep, every one of those
Caleb
could be a John
almost
Quinones.
used somebody almost got a degree for is John Quinones.
Yep.
Yeah. I that whole bit was centered around I had the idea of what if somebody said what sometimes has 3 legs in the morning, 2 legs in the middle of the day, and 3 legs in the evening, and it's just them with a big penis.
With the big
That's hilarious.
hog.
There's the whole conception of that bit. It's good. Phil,
We got to talk about some stuff, though.
what do we got to talk about?
There was a little break-in, some would say, into Pokemon, into the Pokemon headquarters. There were some big old leaks, and Typhlosion is a predator now?
What?
I
Okay,
can
so
see- there's a lot of
Yeah.
weird stuff that has come out, a lot of the backstory.
Caleb, there's a lot of weird stuff.
Yeah. There's a story, what I'm referencing is there's a story that was written about Typhlosion. There's a lot of stories written about human and Pokemon relations. This one was like back in a long time ago. there was a girl like traveling around a mountain and she got lost. And this Typhlosion was like, yo, I'll help you out. We just have to stay in my cave for the night. And like, I'll take you down the mountain tomorrow. But don't ever look at my face. And then he like kept her there for like years and years and years. And then her dad came and like tried to kill the Typhlosion. I think he actually does kill the Typhlosion. And then the now wife and kid of the Typhlosion become Typhlosions.
What?
There's also one about this girl. I'm wholesale, no jokes here. There's another one about this. It's called The Original Sin. And it's a full like 3 or 4 page narrative document about this girl and her friends who go and kill Slackoth for fun. But then she's out in the woods and gets attacked by a Vigoroth and falls unconscious and wakes up later. And that Vigoroth evolved into a Slacking. And he violates her. And then later she gives birth to a Slackoth baby. And then she keeps it as a secret and hides from her friends. And then eventually her friends find her Slackoth baby, not knowing it's her baby, and kill it. And then she realizes that her baby's been killed. Like, this is all actual documents from within the Pokemon Company.
So, wait, this is from within the Pokemon Company.
So it was never published. It was never utilized, but someone proposed this full story and they kept it in their data somewhere.
That is insane.
Yeah. And someone was like, I now realize that what was really holding Pokemon Company back from making good quality games is that one freak that kept proposing that humans breed with Pokemon. They had to keep silencing him.
Because there's like one person that wrote all of the weird.
That's insane. Oh
yes.
My gosh.
They
I was
also
expecting
dropped
it
the
to be
origin
like...
story.
Yeah, like I was expecting like Pokemon origin story or like, oh, we now know the names of the next Pokemon games. Not, let me tell you about human Pokemon relations.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
They did. We know that the code word for Gen 10 is Gaia. But that's all we know. And we know that the first letters of the 2 games are K and N, but that's likely in Japanese. Some people theorize it's like wind and wave.
Wind and wave, okay. Yeah,
wind and wave, and it's supposed to be set. Story. Yeah, it's supposed to be set in like an island chain, so some people think it's going to be like Greek based.
That would be cool.
But the leakers apparently like specifically did not want to post information about upcoming games. They just wanted to post background stuff. And so there's a lot of beta sprites and whatnot. It's interesting. But
I mean, good on the leakers for like not wanting to spoil stuff because people have fun with that.
Right.
Do you think the guy that wrote the Slackoth story, The Original Sin, still works there?
Honestly, yeah, I do.
Probably.
That's crazy.
Because he writes those stories, but he's also crazy good at coming up with Pokemon moves.
This man knows how to perfectly stat a Pokemon like nobody's business.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's why there's been all those bad statted, because like they've been trying to push him down a little bit and then realize that he's so important. So in the next game, they're going to be better statted because he's back.
Oh my gosh.
He's back and writing more breeding fiction than ever.
That's wild to think about. It's just wild to think about.
Which it's crazy. Oh, you go. You finished. Sorry.
Like, it's just wild to think about, like, hey, this, like, people joke about this online, and then one dude at Game Freak was just like, I think about it a lot more.
I don't really stop thinking about it. I'm not going to lie to you.
This is what I need. You know,
I'm about this.
I found the story, The Original Sin. Do we need to do a reading? Do we want to do a live reading?
Honestly think the content of it is a little too out there to read out loud. I legitimately think so. Like, we've said a lot of things, but this actively has a Pokemon like sexually assaulting someone. I don't know that I want to read that on our podcast. Like, read it on your own time, look it up. It's all on the Centro Leaks Twitter, but I don't really want to.
Reading it, she is unconscious when it happens, apparently.
Which
is worse.
Right. And none of this is good.
That's wild. Because like I saw like somebody post the beta sprite of Zigzagoon, and I was like, that's kind of cool that they got that, and it's cute. And then the original sin, which also, why did they have to use that name for the name of the short story? Because that's so cool. That's so cool. That's such a cool name.
Yeah, also you would
Original
think
Sin.
the original sin was referring to like brutally murdering Pokemon in cold blood for fun.
Yeah.
But no,
Yeah.
I guess it refers to the inbreeding.
Yeah.
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 In other news, House referenced Pokemon, and I saw it on TikTok this morning.
House referenced Pokemon?
Yeah, there's a time where they're like talking about something, and House goes, yeah, and when Arceus made the universe, he made 3 states, and that one of his like sidekick that he is kind of gay for is like Arceus, and he goes, look it up.
House is a Pokemon fan officially.
House is a Pokemon fan and worships Arceus. All hail Arceus.
It took me until our friend Drew Holly pointed it out to me to realize that House MD was a play on Sherlock Holmes.
It was if Sherlock was a doctor.
Yeah. Like that's the whole premise of the show. I did not realize that until somebody was like, yeah, House Holmes. That's why they named him that.
Is that his name? I've literally never seen an episode of House ever.
You've never seen an episode of House MD?
No.
It is such a good show. Like jokes aside, I loved the show as a kid. I watched it was one of those shows that I watched every week. It is so good.
There was an episode, the first episode I ever saw, and the only episode I remember. There was a girl who was really sick due to, she was in the hospital. But they didn't know what was happening. Classic House. Turns out she's allergic to this thing that are in ticks. And when her boyfriend came over, he snuck in through the window and a tick got on him when he was crawling up and getting in the window. And when they had sex, the tick dropped on the girl and bit her.
Yeah.
And it was like in her private area. So there's a scene where House has the private area in the elevator.
Yeah. Because that's basically what the show is like that no one knows what's wrong with this person, and then House comes in and is like, I can figure it out. And it's always by basic hey, if you actually ask questions and pay attention to what the patient is saying, you might be able to figure it out with enough amphetamines like I take. And it's a really good show, Cordell. You should watch an episode.
I don't know. I don't even like Sherlock Holmes that much.
What? No,
what?
I don't think that's fair.
I mean,
Watson?
Sherlock Holmes is one of those.
That was a good one.
That was good. It's one of those characters where chronically misunderstood. That's how I'll put it. Too many people are like, oh yeah, awesome, great, fantastic role model. And it falls in that category of character that's intentionally unlikable, but too many people make them you're not on the level of Rorschach, but that kind of thing where it's you're not supposed to like this guy. He's just supposed to be the best at what he does. And you're supposed to sympathize more with everyone around having to put up with him than you are supposed to love him for what he does. It's supposed to be conflicting, and I like that, and I like it occasionally. But I do get annoyed by Sherlock Holmes people.
Yeah.
I think when Holmes is done well, you should not like him, but you should be impressed.
Yeah, I mean, that's the Robert Downey Jr. movies. No one likes him. Everyone's sick of him all the time. No one approves of who he is or what he does, but he gets results. That's interesting.
I still think something my wife and I reference to each other a lot is like, I have like, not like motility issues, but like if I have to put a car key in, I might miss once or twice before I get it in the door, right?
Oh, yeah.
And she will always I'll look at her and just be like, can you tell I'm an alcoholic? And she always just dies laughing because of that one episode of Sherlock.
Yep. I do think about that every time I fail at connecting a cable. And that's the funny thing, too, is like, when he's done wrong, the elementary doesn't work out. Like, he makes so many logical leaps. Like, that scene alone, where he's like, oh, you drink all the time because your phone is a little scuffed up in one spot, and you're blowing this dude on the side because you got bruises on your knees. Like, that is so many logical leaps that he just happened to be correct about.
Yeah.
And that's when he's done poorly.
Red today. That must mean that you are gay. Because it's red shoes for the gay stay.
That's true.
Red Shoe Gay Day.
That is a fact, actually. Red Shoe Gay Day, dummy.
People know Red Shoe Gay Day exists. That's why all nurses wear red shoes when they graduate, because it always winds up on Red Shoe Gay Day. I don't know how it works.
And they're all gay.
Nurses are all canonically gay.
Male, women, in between.
Gay.
Whatever kind of nurse, you're gay.
Does raise an interesting notion for me about like can non-binary people be gay? Like what defines it when you're not like on the binary? How do you define gay or straight if you're not?
Just whatever feels right, you know.
I mean, that's fair, but I just I was like, is there an actual metric or is it vibes?
I wonder if it actually is vibes
at a certain point.
Hey,
I think it is
real
just
quick.
Vibes.
This is like a conversation between. Right. Hey, real quick. Is this relationship a gay relationship or a straight relationship?
They're like,
you have to make sure with your partner.
Yeah. So it's like socially gay. Fiscally straight.
I was
just curious.
I just like, because everyone says like sexuality is a spectrum, right? And like, it goes all over the place. That means definitively there is one person who is the most lesbian you can be, and is on the very far end of that, and is the furthest on the spectrum. And I want to meet the most lesbian.
I'm gonna say it.
Okay.
I think whoever this person is, the most lesbian is a straight man.
Interesting.
Like
because what? No, I was gonna say let's talk about lesbians, but I was like, I don't want to get into stereotypes of lesbians.
Right. I mean, ultimately, it was just a dumb joke because, like, how do you define it? Like, you can't talk about the most lesbian without just being stereotypical. Yeah. So I just made a joke.
But speaking about the most lesbian, Cordell, we haven't talked about Oktoberfest this week yet.
Yeah, it's me, the most lesbian.
Finally, we found out.
Finally.
I am the lesbian. It's some straight guy that goes, I love women, so I'm a lesbian.
Yeah. His name's like Dan or something.
Yeah. So, Oktoberfest. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to level with you. I don't have much of an update. I watched Happy Death Day 1 and 2.
I love those movies.
Those were great. I had a good time with them. I began Oddity, but it was late last night, and the sound mixing was weird, so I stopped because I didn't want to wake up my neighbors because I had to turn it way up during the talking scenes, and it got really loud, and so I had to turn it way down.
Yeah.
So I'm going to resume that later. Yeah, I mean, That's about it. I fell off pretty quick. I went hard in the beginning, but then like life got busy and like I've been dealing with real world things, so I have slowed down on the Oktoberfesting.
Fair.
So I guess I'll say that this Oktoberfest you should lean into the scariest thing of all, and that's being fully present with the people you love while you have them.
Yeah.
Y'all want to talk about something that last week we talked about and referenced, and now we've all at least seen the first episode.
Don da don don da
Don
don.
da don.
Don da don.
One of the best shows I've seen in a long ass time.
Honestly, I really like it.
Cordell doesn't. Cordell hates it.
Cordell made a face.
I don't feel. I don't know what to think yet, frankly. Like it is.
That's kind of how I felt.
It is wild and weird and goofy and fun, but I don't know if I care about any of it. You know what I'm saying?
You ever watch Fooly Cooley?
No.
Okay.
I think for me, I left the first episode thinking, I kind of like this, but I need to watch more to really know. And the second episode sold
Confirmed.
me.
Yeah.
Because also the second episode references an alien that I believe appeared in West Virginia.
Yes, the Flatwoods Monster. Yep.
Yeah.
And in this, the Flatwoods Monster is a giant sumo alien mech thing. Baller.
It's so cool.
So it is. I'm going to have to approach this show like I approached JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Okay.
Which is, I'm here simply to goof and have fun. I am not here to like feel emotionally invested in a plot.
Okay. Yeah. I think that's fair.
Because that's more what I like enjoy about a show is like caring. And in this show, like it's basically like, yeah, you don't really want to care about what's happening here. We're for a wild ride. Because I mean, even I Googled like, what does the name mean? And it's based generally just like riot party. Like it's just a wild good time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the show is just kind of a wild, fun time.
It is. I also was watching the first episode when Emily walked in. And like it was the scene where she had the girl had gotten abducted by aliens, and they're all like, "We're going to mate with you," and Emily's like walking into the room, and I'm like,
See, okay.
I didn't know it was going to do this.
You have fallen to the classic trope of watching anime. It's got to be your parents or your spouse or some friends that you're going to be embarrassed, but they're always going to walk in on the awkward panty scenes.
Yes.
The most awkward parts, yeah.
I like, why they gotta have panty scenes so much?
They like panties over there.
It's kind of like Olivia started paying attention to One Piece right when, like as I'm watching it, right when a character is introduced named Brooke, who is a talking skeleton who quite often when he meets a woman will say, "I'm sorry, if you would be so kind, may I see your panties?" And Olivia was just like, "Why are you watching this?" And I was like, it's
One Piece.
It's so good. I don't know what to tell you. It's just good.
But Olivia, the One Piece is real.
The One Piece is real. Olivia.
Okay, now Olivia not only likes One Piece, but Brooke's voice actor, the way he does the Brooke voice, she says is one of her comfort voices. Like she hears it and she just feels comfortable. Yeah.
He's a really good voice actor.
He is. Ian Sinclair, 10 out of 10.
I do wonder, like, it's interesting to think about cultural differences. Like I don't know if it's like everyone finds it funny in Japan, but like there seems to be like more of a cultural like chillness with having creep characters be people you're supposed to like.
Or at least like use them as the comedic
pole. Right. But they use creepy characters as comedians, I feel like, more often than we do. Or they're more okay with the creepiness being explicitly sexual than we are.
I like him, but we've all seen My Hero,
right?
or Red
Mineta,
My Hero, and Mineta. Yeah,
oh, yeah. Like, no one likes Mineta in America, but what do they think about him in Japan?
Yeah, it's like
that's a good question.
People
honestly.
also love the Fire Force character. That's just a walking Lucky Lecher,
Right?
which is the name of that trope.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting, or it's like, I mean, there have been anime I've quit watching before because there was just a little too much, more panties going on. So it makes me wonder about like, what cultural thing am I missing here?
Yeah. Honestly, like that's a good question, because like I've kind of thought that too sometimes. Where I'm like, what? There's some things that happen in anime where I'm like, there's a disconnect that
Correct.
I'm just not. I don't know if I'm gonna get it, but I'm just gonna keep going. You know.
Which is a very nice way to approach the world in general. Like, good, bad, meh. Do I get it or not get it? I feel like that's a good question to ask.
Yeah.
We in my studio recording class, we recorded our own little podcast, and we were talking about anime and the weirdness. And I said the quote, "I have never been to Japan, but I do enjoy their media." And I think that's a great way to say it. I enjoy their media.
I feel like a lot of people think that way about America, I imagine. Like, never been, sounds wild, but they make a lot of movies and TV, and I sure do like it.
Yeah. And I also think it's kind of almost, I mean, I don't know if y'all felt this growing up, but like growing up, anime was the weird thing that the weird people watched.
Yes.
That was the vibe. And I think now it is becoming more culturally relevant, and people are starting to embrace it a little bit more, or at the very least accept that it is basically just like any other show. And so I think maybe a little bit of it is still a little bit of the cultural holdback of like, this is too much, you know? Like, I know my mom used to say, don't watch anime in the house, it gives me headaches. And so that was, we just didn't watch anime. And then we just did when she wasn't there. And then now me and my brother openly will talk about anime with each other. And it's fun. It's good.
Yeah. It's also interesting to think about like the cultural factors that drive the media we produce. You know, there's a general idea, and I have to be completely honest, I have not like spoken with a person from Japan about this idea. But kind of the idea that like the media is so balls to the wall and bonkers because generally socially they're a lot more reserved.
Yeah.
Like
that's what I've heard as well.
Right. The expectation is that you're not really going to be super expressive socially. So the media is very expressive to kind of have an outlet for it. Whereas like, and it makes sense because when you look at American culture, like our media relatively closely reflects how we live life anyway. Like it's more dramatized, it's more idealized, but it's not that far off of what we say and do in real life. Yeah. And I wonder, but we're also not as socially inhibited as some other places. So I'm just curious about that kind of thing of like, you know, maybe the characters that we're weirded out by are just another outlet of like, hey, we're all strange.
We're all strange here.
Yeah. And that was like, I think some people may disagree with me, but growing up, I watched The Office a lot. And now working in an office setting, it is surprisingly accurate.
Yeah.
Except the office setting is a lot less funny than The Office is. But like, there are people like that. And if you've never worked in an office and have wondered, are people actually like that? Yep. Yeah. People are like that.
Well, it's like Parks and Rec or Superstore. Like the reason they're funny is because they hit close to home. They just make it funnier. They make the circumstances easier to laugh at. But like the concepts and the things they struggle with are very much not that weird.
Yeah. Yeah. In real life, they're just sadder.
Yeah.
You can't laugh at the person because it's like they have like a terrible backstory.
Yep.
It's like, oh, I can't laugh at you. Your entire family died, and that's why you're weird.
Yeah. I can't laugh at you or judge you. Your whole family bullied you your whole entire life, and then you had to run away from home, and your father stopped you as you were about to run away from home and said that he actually is happy that you're leaving because you've always been his greatest disappointment in life.
Yeah, and like when that's in a sitcom, you get to laugh at the uncomfortableness. When you're in real life, you just get to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Which, friends, speaking of real life and discomfort, I got in a Reddit argument today.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I did.
Cordell, what are you doing with your life? You're getting in Reddit arguments.
Did
This
you win?
is a mistake. This
But
is
did
a
you
mistake.
win? But did you win?
Like with all internet arguments, I'm pretty sure I won.
Good. And it was worth it. It was all worth it.
So let me give you a little bit of background and just tell you about what happened. I realized I'll give you like generally what happened.
Okay.
So I play Marvel Snap, a good deal. I recently this weekend broke into the like top 1,000 players, I think, in North America. So it's like,
okay.
I'm decent at this game.
Yeah.
And I'm having a good time. And so I stay updated on the Reddit. You know, I see what new brews are going on. I see what new decks people are building. And I also see what people are complaining about. And there is one specific card that people have been complaining about a lot in this game. And it's the card Hela. Like the Marvel character.
Yeah.
And Hela's whole thing is she's a 6-cost card with 7 power. And so you, at the end of the turn, on the last turn of the game, the 6th turn, you have 6 energy. She costs 6. So the idea is that she's your big finisher card.
Okay.
And she revives your discarded cards randomly at random locations with a little like hit to their power. The idea is that you build your deck to be full of big cards you're not going to outright play. You're going to discard them and then cheat them back with Hela, and then you win.
Cool.
It seems like an interesting build.
Right. It's an interesting deck. It's a little more complex than people give it credit for, but it feels bad because players don't have a good way to interact with it a lot. And because the randomness makes it feel like, oh, well, I did nothing and they won without trying kind of thing. So it has some feels bad associated with it.
Okay.
But it is random. Sometimes, like I've played against Hela where the way their cards revived, they lost the game because they happened to get brought back in bad locations. Because you have to win 2 of the 3 locations points wise. So the way it brought them back, I still won because they had bad locations they revived to. It's just random. It's variance. Like, yeah, it's an easier game to play and you're likely to win, but you're not guaranteed it by any stretch. But people love to be stupid. And I saw a post, and so they do like weekly little updates in the game.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And they call them over the air balances, and basically they'll nerf or buff cards to just keep the game fresh, handle bad metas. It's cool. And one player made a post that was like, "Oh yeah, random, totally," and they flagged it as humor, but they were like, "Actually though, how does this all happen?" And basically, the 3 cards they played revived on the left location, and they lost the game. Like, the cards revived poorly. And the player was like, "How does this happen? What are blah blah? What are the odds?" You know, like just being an idiot.
Yeah.
And I was like, they were like, "Yeah, it's totally random." And I was like, what would they gain by rigging this? Who benefits from this?
Yeah.
And that was my question. I said, what would be gained by rigging the locations to make specific players lose? Why would they go through the trouble to do that? And how would they decide who to rig and how often? It's like, it's chance. Sometimes it screws you over. And then some other random person, because of the nature of Reddit, the poster never replied to me, but this other person decided to like reply to me. And that's where I made my mistake. I kept commenting.
No.
And this other person basically proposed the idea that that what they did to Hella was made it to where she will occasionally put all the power in one location to lose you the game, so that people will play her less without them having to nerf her outright.
That's okay.
Oh.
That seems dumb.
Right. So their premise is like, oh, they, instead of just nerfing her like they have done before and will do again likely, like they literally targeted one of the cards in her deck last week. But they were like, I've even noticed having worse revival locations in the past week since I've been playing her too. And I was like, that's not how anything works. Still, why would they do this? Who would they target? Like, it's the normal conspiracy stuff. The like, I have a feeling and an opinion, and no amount of logic will get through to me, but I kept trying.
It's the Apple Music Shuffle thing all over again, where it was truly random and it would play songs by the same band over and over and over again, because that's what true randomness is. Sometimes that just happens. And people are like, well, no, I need it to be less random so I feel like it's more random.
Right. True randomness oftentimes produces results that humans view as patterned. Like a person would think true random meant that I get one at all three locations. If I discard 3, 1 is at each. That's not accurate.
Yeah, that's not random.
It feels random. And so like I made the mistake of trying to explain that. They were that was their premise, was that they just did it behind the scenes, and I was like, how, still though, why? Like, you're making so many assumptions here whenever there's a more reasonable explanation with less assumptions, and it just I got dumb, and I just kept replying, and then it ended with like the second to last response, the person was like, I'm not suggesting anything. I'm not saying this is how things work. I'm just providing anecdotal evidence that some people might use to support the claim OP's making. That kind of thing.
Jeez.
Okay.
Right, where it's like, you're here having an argument with me. You clearly believe this thing. But of course, I'm the other idiot in this scenario replying.
Yeah.
And then they said, oh, this is where I really made luckily this was my second to last thing. But the player said, I'm not suggesting anything. I'm literally just sharing anecdotes to explain why people think this. The fact that so many people have noticed this post OTA is worth something though, LOL. I kind of went off a little bit. I said, it's actually not worth anything. I was like, a screenshot on Reddit does not tell me how many games this player played with this deck and where each card revived in each game. Like, if you want to talk about it not being random and having any real evidence, you can't just post a screenshot of the one time it went poorly for you.
Yeah.
And I like even cut back. I'm gonna love with you. I had probably too many paragraphs typed, so I cut back. I was just mad.
Yeah.
But then I was
I'm
like,
proud of you for cutting back.
And I was even like, you might not be interested in proving or disproving this. You may just want to vent, and that's fine, but like, don't turn vents into conspiracies.
Yeah.
And I was like, also, we have access to the game code. People data mine this multiple times a month. We'd know if they did this.
Yeah.
and their response, predictably, was, you're taking this card game entirely too seriously. I'm not reading multiple paragraphs of your sleuthing.
Yeah. Like, okay, well then don't get into the argument.
Right. And so what I did instead of continuing to debate, I said, okay, take your bad faith and leave. Like,
this is yeah. No, I had a similar argument with a friend of mine. But my friend came into a group chat and said, guys, I've been thinking about this all day. A hot dog is just an American taco. And I said, no, you're wrong and an idiot.
As you should. You should always add
that's correct.
The idiot part. Yeah.
That's how you do this.
That's how you win arguments. Is
Yeah.
you say no, you're wrong, and an idiot.
I thought you won arguments by showing your boobs.
That is how I win.
Okay.
But I
That's
couldn't
how
do that
I
on
wish I
Reddit.
could win that way.
But no, I was dumb and I wanted to share that I was dumb. Like, was I correct? Absolutely. But was I wrong because I let myself debate on the internet? Yes.
Maybe a little bit.
I needed to eat crow publicly and just get it off my chest. I debated on Reddit. And I knew when to quit after a few replies, but like, I got dragged into it.
This has been our latest segment. Cordell, what are you doing with your life? Don't get into arguments on Reddit.
Bow, bow, bow.
That's the real Oktoberfest horror.
That's the
Reddit
scariest thing
arguments.
that's happened in Oktoberfest so far.
Yeah.
It's just-
I got into a Reddit argument. That's Oktoberfest, baby.
yeah, that's it. That's the real scary part. You know what else is pretty scary? When psychobillies freak out. So, but you should still listen to Psychobilly Freak Out by the Reverend Horton Heat off the album Smoke 'em if you got 'em.
Yeah, if you smoke them, you should got them. Wait. Yeah, that's right.
You should smoke them if you got
If you
them.
got them, you should smoke them. If you smoke them, then you got them. Well, what do what do we
Yes.
got? We got a YouTube. We got a TikTok. We got a TikTok and Twitter is Junkhouse Pod if you want to check us out. And I mean, just look up Junkhouse Podcast on YouTube. All of our videos are on there. All of our episodes are on there. Excuse me. Yeah. Also, rate and review us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify if you would. Appreciate you.
No emails this week. Our email is junkhousemmailbox@gmail.com. I do want to put a thing out that you can email us. I know it was like an episode or two ago. We tossed out the notion of like, if we did a stream, would you come watch? That's my question again to you. If we streamed, would you watch that stream?
Yeah, if we streamed these recordings, would you watch?
Would you tune in live to see the Junk House get made?
And then also some gaming after?
Would you tune in live to see the faces and body motions that I make when I do a character on Junk House?
I would.
They're magnificent, and I would tune in. Also, yeah, I mean, if you enjoyed that and we did games or goofs or tier lists or whatnot after, would you stay and watch? Would you like that? Junksters, would that appeal to you?
Is that what we're naming them?
We've
Are
called them
fans
junky
junksters?
junksters before.
Yeah, jokey junksters.
Junky junkers. Just any variety of that.
Yeah, trash.
Huh.
Freaking idiot trash dummies.
Anyway, just like we say, yeah, every single week.
Oh, we didn't talk about Locktober.
What?
What?
It's a psychobilly freakout!